For the past 2 years, Jocko Fuel has been the only supplement I've consumed. It's helped me stay in shape now that my competitive career is finished. If you've been waiting to try Jocko, the wait is over. Jocko has now teamed with Walmart, bringing clean fuel to the entire nation. Jocko Fuel is loaded with all the good stuff and none of the bad. And I'm talking no added sugars, no artificial sweeteners, and absolutely no gray area or banned substances. Just pure, clean fuel to power your performances. Jocko Fuel is now available in Walmart nationwide. Products available at your local Walmart are Jocko Malt, ready to drink, Jocko Malt powder, and Jocko pre-workout. How convenient. Guys, the time is now. Consider trying some of my favorites like Jocko Go and Jocko Hydrate. You can even do it online. Use code CHAEL30 at JockoFuel.com or just stop by your local Walmart and get your hands on some Jocko ASAP. Don't wait, might not last. Fuel up with Jocko Fuel and crush your goals. Now there's no excuse for not having clean fuel. Guys, I want you to go get Jocko Fuel today at Walmart. Bo Nickal says he could make quick work of Shara Bullet. All right, now that sounds right. I got no problem with that. I'm looking at this thing and I must tell you, I'm surprised. I don't know exactly where the rankings come. I know there's a .com. I know they come out Tuesdays at 9. I know they're done by human beings who have never identified themselves. I don't know how many human beings there are. I don't know where they're spaced at or what their understanding is. I know there was even a statement that it will start getting done by AI, which is not something that I believe will actually happen. But I'll just share with you on the rankings. I was there when we as a community got found out. I was one of the people told. Fox used to have the rights. This is before ESPN carried the UFC, and Fox had a very famous room called the Avocado Room. Now, any television studio you go to, they will have something known as a green room. Fox's Avocado Room was actually colored green, but like an avocado. And I'm only sharing it for you, like that's where everything happened. Every meeting took place. Everybody in the building knew about the Avocado Room. Well, me and the Avocado Room. Avocado Room, noon. Hey, next Saturday, 1 o'clock, meet in the Avocado Room. It was one of these things. And I happened to be in the Avocado Room when they came in and they explained to us they were going to do rankings. Now, they were going to go to 10, which is far enough, by the way. I have no idea how we got to 15, but the number one reason, and I was looking forward to it, Kenny Florian, the reason we were happy about it is you had people judging people, and never does that happen and it's fair. And speaking of it not being fair, always when it happens, it creates controversy. So rankings are a really helpful thing to have in your sport. Now, to have validity and to be considered mainstream, you need rankings. Might seem small, but it's important detail. Now, the rankings have never affected your card placement, which is what really matters. The ranking doesn't affect what you're paid to show and or win. It doesn't affect your ability to get a of the night bonus, as you've heard. I've never totally understood why we had the rankings. I've just been glad that they're there. I'm glad that we have them so that there's something to talk about, something to debate and discuss. Now, the fighters themselves had a totally different opinion as Chael. They got really into the rankings. And those very rankings that were put in place to appear to be mainstream and to give talking heads a jumping off point became the new and accepted way to get out of a fight. Now, no fighter wants to fight with anybody. And a fighter really doesn't want to fight with somebody that the general population thinks is going to beat them. And that's really true that you understand that, right? I understand that the fighter pops in like he's Clark Kent and he comes out of the phone booth and he looks like $1 million. I'm just sharing with you, it's an act. Like there's no group of fake tough guys quite like fighters. So now these fighters didn't really have an excuse aside from I'm chicken. Now they have an excuse in the rankings in that guy's not in front of me, so it doesn't do anything for me. And never mind the fact that I'm ranked number 7. I'm stuck in the mud. The top 6 guys are all stars, and they don't want anything to do with me. I'm never going to get a docket with one of the guys in front of me. By the way, this guy ranked number 11 that they want me to fight is a 2.5 to 1 favorite over at DraftKings to beat me. Like, never mind all of that. Never mind I'm going to prove myself. Never mind, they're counting me out against the guy 4 seats behind me. Never mind the fact that I would love to have an easy day at work, no different than any of you that are watching this probably at work. I do this to bring you a little bit of relief, give you a little bit of an escape. Like turning down a fight because you deem it's easy makes you an idiot. But they never have turned down a fight because it was easy. They turned down fights because they didn't do anything for me. They weren't ranked high enough. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever the reason being, it's still a no. It's still the way to find yourself at an acceptable no. So I was really surprised when Chimaev came out to take on Whitaker. Whitaker was ranked number 3. Whitaker was also damn near a 3-1 underdog to lose that fight. And it spread at different times. They ended up going off as a 2-1, but he approached 3 at one point. And then ever since the first time Chimaev changed the date of those guys' competition, the odds got closer towards Whitaker, but he never surpassed the 2-1. And when the odds makers so greatly disagree with the rankings room, I was surprised to see Chimaev was ranked number 13. I had no idea he was that low. I have no idea how he could possibly be that low. He goes out that night and jumps from 13 to 3, and that's just if we switch places with him. So now that I'm informed that the best guys in the world aren't ranked that way, right? Now that all the talk is Chimaev could be champion, Chimaev will be champion, Chimaev should get to fight for the championship. Now that we've done all of that with a guy that 1 week ago was ranked number 13 and nobody complained, I do have to look at Bo Nickal. And the top guys are talking about Bo Nickal. Chimaev is having to talk about Bo Nickal, even though he's not going to be facing him, at least not anytime soon, because of the protection afforded by the rankings. We got a guy named Rainier. Rainier might be the best one championship fighter not named Demetrius Johnson that I personally have seen. Rainier, in his UFC debut, would like to debut against Bo Nickal. Great, let's get them together. What would the holdup be? How could we possibly tell Rainier no? We're not like using Bo to sell a whole bunch of tickets with a whole bunch of famous guys that just aren't ranked. So if we got a guy named Rainier, I don't know if that's his first name, last name, or a nickname. I'm just saying it doesn't matter. He said Bo. Let's get him with Bo. Another guy is Shafka Bullet. Sharif Bullet. Now, he's very over with the audience. And Bo says, I want to need but 90 seconds to get rid of that guy. And Bo's probably rounding up. That's probably true. Like, that's not a fight that I'm dying to see. I'm just trying to figure out, how do we get these guys together? Bo is now going to go into the Mecca, Madison Square Garden. He's going to take on a guy that's beaten a world champion in Jamal Hill, first round, and stopped a world title challenger, soon to be 2-time world title challenger, possible champion, in Ankalaev. Should Ankalaev beat Pereira, of which he's a 2-1 favorite on DraftKings to do, he will just have one loss. And that one loss is by finish to Paul Craig, who is ranked nothing and has left the weight class. So now we put Paul and Paul Craig together. Interesting fight and a really hard fight. But we haven't solved the problem on how we get him one of these magical rankings. Mysterious rankings is what I should call it. And I just want to ask you, how? Okay, Rainier called for Bo. I think we should do that fight. Not knowing anything else at all other than that's the only human that's ever called for Bo. Great, I think we should do that fight. But Bo would like to get closer to the top. He would like to get that world championship. He likes that ranking of that 3-2-1 somewhere in there. But we're going to have to break it to him that we can't get it for him. Well, what if that 3-2 or 1 somewhere up in there calls for Bo? Can we do it then? I'm asking. If Chimaev, who you believe should get the title shot, doesn't want to wait around and wait for Strickland and Duplessis to fight. Chimaev needs to fight somebody, and Chimaev says, I want to fight Bo. Can we do it then? Can we ignore the rankings and all the things about it that doesn't make sense? And the experience or inexperience, all the talk that we have, could we ignore it in that fashion? It doesn't generally happen. Generally, the top guys, not wanting to do any heavy lifting or any extra work, not wanting to do heavy lifting and hard work and not get credit for it, are looking to fight for other guys around their same ranking, even though it was done by an unnamed party, which we believe to be 3 or more from some parts of the world that have never been specified, that will have a meeting of the minds every Tuesday by 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'm just wondering, is one of the rewards of Chimaev is a punishment that he can't fight everybody? Because when he was 13, he could. When he was 13, he could float all the way to 3. So if he's 13, can we float all the way down to 23? Was that the time to get him to fight with Bo? How is Bo supposed to break in and get these top guys? If somebody that does the rankings isn't able to look at Bo Nickal and juxtapose that, if they can look at Bo Nickal and tell me they legitimately know 15 guys better than him, I'm going to ask him, how'd you get Chimaev so wrong? 2 weeks ago, you had him at 13. You claimed you knew 12 guys better than him, 12 guys that could beat him. How did you get that one so wrong? And once we acknowledge that you do get them wrong, could you then answer my question? Could Bo beat a highly ranked guy if the highly ranked guy calls Bo out?